Hey guys, it's almost like Christmas. I got quite a bit of mail last couple of days. I got some Friday that I didn't realize I had because I didn't check the mailbox, and then I went there this morning and I got several more. So got one here from Matt, Slow SRT. I bet I know what this is. Cool. Shut your face garage. That'll be going on the YouTube shrine over here, and once I get everything else ready to go on there. Thanks, Matt, Angel, appreciate it. I was kind of worried after seeing Ziggy's this morning. I didn't know if there'd be anything else in here or not, but that's awesome, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's see. This one's from VW Darren. And it's probably the tool circular like the rest of you guys have been getting. Let's see what's going on here. Oh yeah. Well, I can see where my next paycheck or two is going. If my wife will let me, that's awesome. I'll have to look through there. I'm sure that there's only two kinds of stuff in here: need it and got it. Fantastic. Thank you, Darren and Andrea, for sending me that. I really appreciate it. Oh, another package that arrived today from VW Darren. Let's see. Wow, staple it and everything. Yeah, I've definitely been expecting this. It's my very own matrix clock, just like the rest of you guys have got in your shop. Now, I truly feel like I'm one of the gang, so I can come out here and see how I'm freezing my rear end off. Of course, I'm not as bad as some of you folks up north, like Rick Fix, HPR, Iceman. You guys really know what cold is. Down here, we have no idea what cold is compared to you guys. But that'll be going up right underneath my clock. Fantastic. Been waiting on that. That's neat. And I got one other package. That's from Rich, Mr. Satajet 883. Let's see what this is. I'm pretty sure I know. My goodness, I used a ton of packaging tape on this. You really packed it up well. Definitely wasn't going anywhere. I'm sure you guys probably remember Rich's last, one of his last videos where he and his daughter went out to lunch. Sorry about that, kicked the camera. And they went to the Jamaican restaurant. He was kind enough to go back over there and get me some of this Jamaican jerk sauce, because I love hot food. The hotter the better. And he was considerate enough to go back over there, get some of this, put it in the mail, send it to me. This just goes to show you the level of, well, brain fried for a moment, friendship, dedication the guys in this group have for each other. They go out of their way to help each other, do anything they could for each other. Rich, I really appreciate that, buddy, for you taking the time to go back over there, get this, put it in the mail, pay what you did for shipping on it, which was freaking ridiculous. I really do appreciate that a great deal. I appreciate everything that all of you guys have sent to me and the time it took you to come up with the ideas for this stuff, to package it, to go to the post office. Darren and Andrea, the things that you guys are doing for us with all the paint, the time involved. Send all this stuff to us. I know that's a large burden on you guys, trying to get everything boxed up, packaged up, shipped out, all the emails, the phone calls, everything else. Speaking for myself, and I'm sure for most of the rest of the guys in the garage gang, we really appreciate the dedication and the time that you take to help us out with all these projects and everything else. We appreciate it a great deal. I know I sure do. And With that, I'm going to let you guys go, and I'll probably bring you back when I got something to show you on the card. Thanks. Thanks to everybody. Y'all have a good one. Hey guys, got my new thermometer put up. As you can see, it's about 59 degrees in here. I turned the heat off a few minutes ago. Got to working with this lead work, and got pretty warm in here, so I just went ahead and shut the heat down. I've been working on this stuff for about 20 minutes, trying to figure out which was the best way to proceed. As you guys saw earlier, that stuff looked pretty rough. I tried to file on it some more with the body file, and it wasn't cutting. This stuff is so hard that it felt like I was just spinning my wheels. So at that point, I went to my box with all my grinding wheels and everything. I forgot I had some of these Norton. I think that's who makes them. I think they're called Clearview. The backing plate's actually got a hole in it, and so does the sandpaper that goes on the front of it. And you can get all different grits from, I think, 24 all the way up to like 200, 220. I put a 36 grit on here like someone recommended to try and work this stuff down since it is so hard. And that seemed to work pretty well. Another tip that someone gave me on one of the comments on this stuff was to take normal school chalk and basically take it and put it on the file surface. I found it also works somewhat to put a little bit on the face of the grinding disc. That kind of helps keep it from loading up. Of course, this stuff is enough similar to lead that the particles do tend to build up in the sandpaper. But I also got to noticing too, there are a lot of areas that the flat file that they send with this, of course they make a curved one too, but you see the profile on this is basically flat. It's real good for large flat areas, but right here where mine is going down into the quarter panel, this area right in through here makes it real difficult to work that file in and get rid of all those lumps and bumps and stuff that I had. So I took that 36 grit on that grinder and basically took it and machined off most of the high spots and the real bad stuff. And then I started working it with the file again. And again, I took that chalk like they recommended and put that on the face of it. And that really helps a lot to shed the solder out of it. It doesn't stick to it nearly as bad. And then there are a lot of other areas that are really difficult to get to. This corner here in particular, because it's right here at the bottom of the drip rail. And then you've also got a radius right here where it goes into the rear window. So I got to looking through all of my files and stuff, and I had an old one that I'd gotten years ago from a friend of mine who did a lot of machine work and stuff, and it was just a perfect fit right here between the edge of the top of the quarter panel and the bottom of that. And once I got it worked down so far, I went into my box again and found some of my chainsaw sharpening files that worked really well to get around the corners into this radius. So if you guys are going to do this, hopefully you've got quite a few different abrasive accessories, grinders, files, whatever you think you might need to work those angles. Another modification I made, sorry guys, I need the tripod, as I was doing the work on this quarter panel and I was bringing this thing down, I got to noticing that I was having some burrs appear on the metal. And what it was, if you look at the back of this, the files that they send with this have a real hard edge on the corner. I'm not sure if that's so that they can work it into the corner to machine stuff or what, but that was actually digging into the sheet metal on the car. So I took and put it on my bench grinder and took the front two corners off, which is normally the way this file runs because the teeth are made to only cut in one direction, and I've got this one set to where it cuts as you push it forward. So that may be something else you guys want to look at if you're doing this, especially if you order that kit with these files. Those corners were digging into the sheet metal pretty good. I kept wondering why it would be smooth one minute and then rough the next, and that's what it was. I kept getting those burrs from the sheet metal. But give you a little bit closer up view here of what's going on. The surface is finally starting to come down some. I'm starting to get it smoothed out. You can still see some areas where either this is high or this area here is low, same as blocking filler and stuff. This area in here is coming right along. It's pretty good. You can see I do have a few pits, different little places, and then there's some areas right in here that I'm sure this is pretty high because you still see the sheet metal exposed underneath it. And then right in this area right here where I figured I did, I've got a low spot because you can actually start seeing the edge of the lower panel right there. I'm going to continue to work this with the body file now that I've got it down close enough. But you definitely want to, if you get it up on there as rough as I did, you want to take a grinding disc or something to it first. Make sure you wear your particulate mask so that you're not breathing in those metal fibers and stuff. But here you can kind of see the amount of stuff that I've ground off. Of course, this is just what's laying on the panel. It's nothing to do with, you know, what the air and everything is blowing around. But, you know, like I said, I've ground off quite a bit and still got quite a bit more to go. But that's just a little update on what's going on with the body solder. Once I get this one kind of leveled off a little bit, we'll try to tackle this one down here on the quarter panel. I don't think I'm going to have to do a lot of grinding with it. I may just take off some of the high spots. And once I get those worked down, then we'll try and do the rest of it with the body file if possible. You know, and I'm still trying to decide what I want to do with this. If I want to try and apply some more lead, which is basically going to make all of that stuff that's on there rough again, the areas that I heat. Or if I want to get it worked down into where it's below surface, where all these pits and stuff are, and then take some of the all metal. Oh, sorry, grinder fell off. You know, take and do the lead or the solder again, or if I want to do the all metal. So I guess a lot of it's going to depend on how much longer it's going to take me to file all this down and what it looks like once I'm done. I may do like you guys doing on the guide coat on the Bondo and stuff. Is once I get this down to where it's close, I may spray a little bit of cheap black spray paint on here and just run the file across it in 2 or 3 different directions for a crosshatch and give me an idea of what's actually high and what's actually low, because it's very difficult to tell what's what given the fact that it's all metal. So it's kind of hard to tell just by the reflection. Running your hands over it, is you can kind of feel what's what. This feels pretty good, but then when you get down into here, you can tell there's some low spots, because this actually feels pretty flat until you get down to right here. So, but I will keep machining on this, and I'll bring you guys back when I get something else done. Oh, one other thing, I've been working on some of the suspension parts for the Jag stuff. I noticed John Kerry 1963 Jag had posted several videos on still reassembling the differential on his Jaguar project, and I had all the components taken apart on mine, and I've been started utilizing the blast cabinet, cleaning up all my springs, shock retainers, the rear diff cover, and then I got to thinking too, I still had the spindles that are going on the front of my Mustang. They're actually off of like a 75 Granada. That's kind of like a poor man's disc brake upgrade. But as you can see, those things have been underneath that car for probably since it was new and never been cleaned or anything else. Of course, I'm not going to reuse the rotors. I'm going to buy new ones. But the spindles themselves were pretty bad. The backing plates were pretty bad. So after about 30 minutes in the blast cabinet, you kind of see they're looking pretty spiffy now. I'm going to take some of the etching primer I got from Darren and spray all these components, and then probably go over them with single stage black, kind of like what John Kerry did with all of his stuff. The brake calipers, I'm going to actually order some brake caliper paint to put on those, because they do reach such high temperatures and everything. But these things cleaned up really well. I wished I'd have taken a before and after video on how nasty those things were and how cruddy. But yeah, you wouldn't believe what 10 minutes, 20 minutes in your blasting cabinet will do with a little bit of abrasive and stuff. I picked this one up a couple of weeks ago. I got tired of trying to wait for decent weather to go outside and abrasive blast, so I just went ahead and went by the cheapy tool store and picked up one. It was, you know, like a couple $100. But given the fact that winter's here and it's going to really slow me down a lot to try and do anything outside, I thought, well, you know, I'll go ahead and get one, because I still have a lot of components for the suspension to clean up. So I'm trying to kind of split my time back and forth between doing the solder work, so I don't get too burned out on this stuff, because you work on that for a while, and after a while you think, wow, I'm getting tired, it's time to move on to something else.